vergeten en ofschoon er geen gebrek is aan heftige ruzies tussen hen, vloeit er geen bloed meer. Met vrolijk versierde schilden en houten wapenen, die de Dayakse mantouw, een kort zwaard, vervangen, heeft dezelfde strijd om de sterkste plaats, maar met een minder bloeddorstig einde, want de verliezer van de strijd verloor in vroeger tijden zijn hoofd. Het werd in een mandje gedaan en door de overwinnaar in triomf naar huis gedragen om er eventueel de voordeur mee te versieren. Deze wedkampen worden door de bevolking zeer gewaardeerd en de verliezers kunnen nu tenminste hun eigen hoofd mee naar huis nemen, misschien van schaamte wat gebogen. Een andere bron van vermaak voor de Dayak is de Djongdans, in dit geval uitgevoerd door een jong Dayak-meisje van juist 12 jaar. Het is verrassend zoveel sierlijkheid en gratie te vinden in het hartje van Borneo. Maar dit bewijst wel dat ofschoon de Dayaks in de strijd bekend staan als vechters zonder vrees, hun liefde voor muziek en sierlijkheid een nieuwe rijkdom voegt bij een toch al zo kleurig bestaan. De ringen die de Dayak-vrouwen in hun oren dragen zijn vaak van zuiver zilver. Het aantal ringen groeit met de welstand en invloed van haar echtgenoot. De symmetrische figuren op hun hoofdbedekking bestaat grotendeels uit zilveren muntjes. Op de vreemde melodie van de kenentangan, een soort van gitaar die uit stevig hout is gesneden en met de vingers wordt betokkeld, glijdt het danseresje voort met langzame vloeiende bewegingen die doen denken aan het wuiven van palmen uit het oerwoud rondom haar. Wanneer de eerste tere rijsthalmpjes boven de grond verrijzen, worden de hoedo's, de goede geesten van de oogst, aangeroepen om te waken over de jonge aanplant. Door het monotone slaan op een gong roepen de Dayaks deze wonderlijk uitgedoste en gemaskerde figuren op om de slechte geesten schrik aan te jagen. De hoedo is een vogel die alleen in de legende bestaat. Maar de Dayak heeft hem tot leven gebracht en zo dansen de mysterieuze vogels hun wonderlijke bezwering, opdat de oogst dat jaar gunstig mogen zijn en overvloedig. Veel van de geschiedenis van Borneo is verbonden met de legenden van de hoedo. Want er wordt verteld dat er geen zaad kan kiemen noch opgroeien zonder de dans der hoedo's. Op de nuchtere westerling maakt dit bijgeloof reeds een diepe indruk. Hoe groot moet de invloed der hoedo's zijn op de Dayak, wiens hele leven hierdoor wordt beheerst? Men vaak voorbij. De eigenlijke bewoners van Borneo, de Dayaks, zijn hoofdzakelijk heidenen. Ze leven in grote gemeenschapswoningen die op palen zijn gebouwd. Eens was het een oorlogzuchtig volkje, deze Dayaks. Nu, nadat ze met de beschaving in contact kwamen, zijn het rustige landbouwers en vissers geworden. Hun hoofdvoedsel bestaat uit rijst, dat op verschillende manieren wordt bereid. In deze blokken, die uit een enkele stam van ijzerhout zijn gemaakt en waarvan de oppervlakte diep is uitgehold door het wiegelen van ontelbare voeten, wordt de rijstkorrels ontbolsterd. De Dayak-huisvrouw met haar wonderlijk gevormde oren, waarvan het lelletje in haar jeugd wordt doorboord om er zware metalen ringen in op te hangen, is opgewekt van aard. Ook haar man heeft plezier in het werk dat hij onderneemt. Veel van zijn tijd wordt in beslag genomen door zijn zorg voor zijn vistuig.
Explorers have told of the tree-climbing fish They've described these creatures of paradox, and it all sounded like a traveler's fable. But here they are, actually filmed. What is the scientific explanation? Tell us, Professor.
Thank you. With tree climbing fish, science is stumped. The only time I saw things like these before was after a couple of bottles of snuff. Only the ones I saw, you could make disappear with aspirin tablets, isn't?
They're real fish, too, and not exaggerated tadpoles or lizards. These are precisely the same order of life as trout, swordfish, or sea bass. They've become adapted to the conditions of the Borneo jungle, sudden floods, pools that swiftly dry up, fish left stranded on land. Nature has adapted them to that, and as the shore is a tangle of trees, branches, and roots, the fish have got used to the trees. This is a living example of the probable way that terrestrial beings came into existence on this planet. The swarming life of the ocean creeping out on the land, fish accommodating themselves to life out of the water. You can imagine how in an eon of time, these paradoxical creatures may lose the way of the water altogether and develop into creatures of the land. And sure enough, they actually climb into the lower branches of the trees. So they are tree-climbing fish. They're a tall story come true, but then so is all Borneo. And now, on with the journey to the headhunters, deeper into the jungle. Like a dank cavern, some gloomy river of the netherworld in Dante's Inferno. Here we find no light, fantastic mood of tree-climbing fish. Expedition headquarters is to be deep in the jungle. So push on. Snakes, flying snakes, serpents on wings. This island of the unimaginable abounds in reptiles. They're weird, fascinating. They're poisonous, not so fascinating. And they fly. The Muruts have told Martin about a place abounding with strange equatorial life. Look out for the equatorial life. There's some of it. Osa is brave, not afraid of a mouse, but that's no mouse. The blowgun, the native weapon, poisoned arrow. What's that aim? Jaw transfixed by the dart tipped with venom. The Murut marksman knows the poison is doing its deadly work. They cut their way for hours to the haunted jungle life that the natives have talked up so highly.
Logan, wait a minute. What do you think about this place?
Well, I think it'll be awfully pretty when it's cleared.
This'll be a fine place. Now, Logan, you go tell the boys to come around here and cut all this down, huh? We'll cut 2 or 3 acres and make a fine camp here. Get all their knives and their pangas. Get them here. Go on,
Yes,
Utah, you go with me. We'll look around while you're gone.
See what's over there.
Wait a minute, look over there.
Haunted jungle life is right. River monkeys. And here they are to establish their home, a laboratory for the popular naturalist. The tropical green abounds with the creatures of the wild. The rare Borneo deer. Here they'll make their headquarters and film with infinite cunning and care shy, wary beasts like this. And curious birds, like the white heron. Osa, home builder as well as explorer, knows that this is to be their household for long months to come. The Borneo jungle is hot, humid, rainy, insect-ridden, and teeming with reptiles. Some of the Borneo tribes are rated the laziest people on earth. Work of any kind bores them to tears. Their principal activity is boating, cockfighting, and gambling. In the bad old days, they were known to wax strenuously energetic while headhunting. They're not so handy at handicraft. It isn't camera that makes the slow motion. It's just busy Borneo. And that's not handicraft, it's footwork. Fingers so lazy, they let the toes do it. As a headhunter, he's a footworker. The height of activity, a nap in the afternoon. They believe that work is for the dogs. They build a raft out of rattan, bamboo, jungle wood.
Here. Better put another piece of bamboo right up here. Understand? Right here, huh?
The forest abounds with valuable timber, some of the hardest on earth, like ironwood. And the Muruts are skilled in watercraft, born rivermen.
You better get about 2 more logs along here. Great big fella, supposed to hold this down solid. All right.
So this is headquarters for the Martin Johnson expedition, a bit of America in the equatorial forest. A sturdy bungalow, a sound roof, and a sturdy finished raft. Borneo is split by the equator, a land of immense tropical rainfall. It has no wet or dry season, only wet. To the Murut natives, this Johnson jungle home is a place of endless wonders, home of white man's magic. They come here for reasons of sorcery, and they take Martin for a medicine man.
Great guns, what's that coming? Logan. Sick head hunter. A sick head hunter, huh? Well, he sure looks sick. What's the matter with him? Toothache. Well, I don't know anything about a toothache. I can't help it any. I'm not a dentist. How do you know? This morning I heard he's coming. Well, is he a good dentist? But he's a dentist. Oh, he's a dentist. How are we going to get him? Put one flag near the river, he will stop. All right, you go put up a flag. Right. You take the fellow with you. I don't want to see any more of him.
The dentists do come to these parts. This one has journeyed up from Sandakan, so he has a sign in English and Chinese. The Chinese go everywhere. They penetrate into the remotest wilds of the East Indies, plying their craft, including tooth pulling. They are known to put a gold cap on any native tooth, whether it needs one or not. Here's dentistry that makes a dent. And now you'll see what makes the wild man of Borneo wild. Now we need a scientist. We need a zoologist. So I present that eminent naturalist, Professor Lou Lair.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. So little is known about the proboscis family that nobody can check up on, I speak freely. In this rare community of dwibblepuses, family life is very human. Little Junior, whose schnozzle is yet only a nozzle, climbs trees like a monkey, while Mama, with a dainty lady-sized beezer, serves a spring salad lunch to all the little hose noses. Outside of using them for sneezing, snoring, and sniveling, no other reason has ever been found for the super colossal schmeller. The Durante family, the proboscis family, is very heavy eaters. It takes a lot of jungle hors d'oeuvres to wear them out. Notice the perfect rhythm of their snoots, how the nose beats time with a masticate. This, swing it, sister. Human beings always connect noses with being curious, inquisitive. But these Borneo scoop noses is very exclusive. With a puss like theirs, you wouldn't be a good mixer either. These are the faces that you always remember, but you don't know where to put them. Everything ain't always hunky-dory with a proboscis family. They're like any other married people. So far, you ain't seen the papa here. He's late for dinner again. That's why Mama is always looking around. Only Grandpapa is home to protect them. Hey, Grandpop. You got a flat. Still Papa ain't home yet. He must be out with the boys again, drinking palm juice. Yep, she sees him on the front step. Plastered. Look at that sound. He just stuck his nose in the lodge and they filled it up. Ain't you ashamed? Disgracing the family. I hope you get hay fever. Yeah, Mama, that's him. Hide the children. He's coming out of it. No, he ain't sick. He's just got the nose jitters. Look how it twitches. If he hiccups, it would knock his teeth out. Boy, is he in the doghouse. She's so mad, she wouldn't care if Grandpop zocked him in the nose. And I wouldn't give Grandpop any credit if he missed it. Look, now he's got the DTs. He sees little pink men running around. Tomorrow he'll say it was something he ate, no doubt. Grandpop is furious. Ain't it strange that monkeys with noses like Grandpop smell just the same as other monkeys? Everybody knows that monkeys don't have fleas. Everybody but the monkeys. So little Ludwig gets his once-over light as the family ignores the souse completely. All the Grandpop, he never forgets. He's got a mind like an elephant and a nose pretty near. Even that, the world's greatest sinus stiffs don't know whether the monkeys grow these noses or these noses grow the monkeys. Look, Snazola Durante is still at it. So Tom Juice Jake comes out of it, empties the icebox, and wonders what the chances is to go back with his family. Heavy, what a hangover. But even as you and us, he's still in the doghouse. She won't talk. So what? So he goes back to the lodge for more palm juice.
The Muruts lead the way to a water hole.
There's the place, huh? Well, it looks good to me.
Yes, it's a pretty place. Life's good. You know the natives say that lots of animals come down here to drink.
Well, I'm going to look around in the jungles, too. I think there's other places probably around here.
Ah, gibbon, smallest anthropoid ape. The only one whose nose has a bridge. And a Brock monkey, also a baby orang. And then a red monkey. Yes, this campsite seems to be okay. Right 100% for filming animal life. And Borneo has owls, wise birds something like our own. And some, the like of which you've never seen before. Here's old Sourpuss, a regular Borneo screw. The cuss is a cute little cuss. A lemur with wide eyes and little vacuum cups on his feet. Sucker. Why, he can walk right up a plate of glass. And here's the way you have to drink in Borneo.
Gosh, I'm thirsty, Utar. I could drink anything. Hurry up and cut it.
Water is dangerous to drink, as the old soap said. Rivers, mountain streams, or even crystal springs here may be contaminated. But the water is pure in the water vine. The stem has a vein of the most salubrious H2O. The vine means wine, but it means water in Borneo, Isle of the Topsy-Turvy. This water hole is a treasure ground for the popular naturalist. Honey bears with thick fur, protection from the stings of the jungle bee. The Brock monkey. Borneo is a dominant haunt for the primates, from the tiny simians to the great apes. And to the water hole come wild pigs. The attraction here is not only water, but also salt. Both a water hole and a salt lake. Surely an ideal location for the camera blind, where from camouflage the telescope lens can study wildlife. The Borneo civet cat, the large close relation of the common domestic feline, twice as big as the American house cat. A playground for jungle life. And the Brock monkey is renowned as the most playful of its kind. To him, the civet cat is just kitty kitty. The spectacle monkey, another odd fellow in this monkey paradise. Mr. and Mrs. Gibbon always drink like that, even in a zoo with all civilized conveniences. He gets the habit from life in the treetops, where finger drinking gathers the rainwater on the foliage. Those two quaint chaps are not Borneo monkeys at all. They're from Sumatra. And how did they get here? Well, the expedition brought them along, as if there were not enough monkeys in Borneo. But that type is especially interesting because of its extraordinary voice. That fellow is a siamang, not a monkey at all, really. He's an anthropoid gibbon. The extraordinary thing about the siamang is the huge pouch that he has under his jaws, like great flabby jowls. That's part of his vocal equipment. Filled with air, the pouch can produce a tone of its own, an auxiliary to the lungs. When the siamang wants to do some special singing, jungle caruso stuff, with an equatorial love song, he punches his pouch to project an added tone. A deer can't scratch his ear, but a siamang is great at picking out ticks. This haunt of jungle creatures is like an animal man's dream come true. But dreams come more than true in Borneo. This thing was brought into camp by the natives who got it from far, far up the river. Just a baby. A dream come doubly, triply true. Proboscis monkeys, rarest of the rare, and they're being fed the unaccustomed way. With infinite patience, Osa keeps them alive. No proboscis monkey has ever been kept alive in any civilized zoo. Far away in the depths of the jungle, way upstream, there, they say, is a whole colony of those rarest of simians, a whole town of proboscis.
You stop it. Bad little nose. Bad little.
Already, while Osa feeds the babies, preparations are being made for a proboscis hunt.
Oh, stop shaking your head. Just a crybaby, that's all you are. Yes, just a crybaby.
The Chinese junk is pressed into service for the river voyage from here on. Off on a scouting tour, pilot Jim Laneri has been making an air survey of the upper reaches of the stream. Putting the plane away, Jim reports forbidding wilderness, stupendous jungle, and the river just a winding maze of treacherous backwater. He doesn't know if a boat can possibly get through it. But never mind the peril. Here we go, we're on our way. Off by junk and by raft. How could you hold Martin Johnson back when there are proboscis monkeys to be filmed? The Murut Rivermen are great paddlers, slender built, marvelous on endurance and stamina. Family life on a junk, as up the river we pass native houses on stilts. On stilts to be safe from reptiles and safe from floods. The women more than do their share out here in Borneo, and as for these Chinese junks, well, they penetrate everywhere. The jungle is growing more dense now, almost impenetrable thicket. On and on we go in the quest for the proboscis monkey deep in his forest lair. Martin makes sure his camera is in good shape by shooting a picture or two of Osa, and Osa returns the compliment, checking up on her own camera by shooting one of Martin's. We're in a dark backwash of the Borneo River now. The canoes will have to explore this, so it's paddle and song, the Kimabatangan boatman song. One reason why the proboscis monkey is so rare is because it feeds exclusively on the shoots of young palm along the river bank, the nipa palm. Now what do we see? Dense groves of nipa palm. So we're nearing our goal. It won't be long until we're in Proboscisville. So up the river and paddle on, boys. I guess we don't need the professor now. More in keeping would be a teller of tales of fantastic terror. From this point on, the Martin Johnson expedition is bound for the headhunter country. This type of native boat is called a gobong, essentially a dugout, primitive but well adapted to navigating the streams and shallows of the Borneo jungle. Borneo water turkey. The endless walls of jungle unfold. The equatorial forest of palms and ironwood, and equally hard, the tembesu, bamboo and rattan, and the spreading banyan tree. All dominated by the towering peepang tree, monarch of the jungle. Martin and Osa called this the most beautiful scenery they had ever beheld. Beauty, yes, and fantastic. Here in this Isle of the Undreamable, nature plays some of her weirdest pranks. We're approaching one now, and prank is right, a freak of nature. Geography dictated their first exploit. In Singapore, the crossroads of the world, their destination was the other side of Borneo, across the China Sea, then across the giant Savage Islands by the sky route. In that plane, they flew on many a great adventure in their African years. Now it is to be the spirit of Africa winging across Borneo. Osa spies the island of the lepers, where victims of the dread malady are segregated and kept apart. Now they have crossed the China Sea, but that was the least of this flight. Because it was wings across Borneo, that island of primitive ferocity which gave its name to the traditional wild men. Legendary with the terror of Dayak pirates, a jungle land of headhunters. No such flight had ever been made before. So perilous, the British authorities said no, and at first refused a permit. Borneo is divided between the British and the Dutch. There's Sandakan, capital of British North Borneo, the only colony governed by a chartered company. They were not looking for towns. So on over the jungle, teeming with the fantastic life that makes this the Isle of the Incredible. The Kimabatangan River, that's their adventure trail. Far up the stream, they will find the darkest depth. So follow the Kimabatangan. It's a stem winder. It winds all over the place. The rivers in Borneo are like that, meandering almost in circles. Looks like a lawn, carefully mowed, but those trees tower 200 feet high, giant walls of equatorial foliage. The destination of this expedition is the deepest and darkest jungle of all, a remote place, the maximum of wilderness. Waterways are about the only way that they can get anywhere in this world of towering thickets. The rivers, likewise, are the only landing fields, and pilot Jim Laneri had better be skillful, here where the flying fields are jungle streams. The river dwellers here are the Muruk. Along the coast, the natives are of the Malay race, sea-roving conquerors. Here in the interior are the older and more primitive tribes. Headhunters they used to be, and maybe still are. Osa finds their language utterly strange, but a stroke of luck. Martin finds one of the Muruks who has been to Sandakan among the English there.
How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you? So you speak English, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you learn to speak English?
When I'm small boy, I was working at Sandakan.
Oh, and you learned there from the white people, huh? How'd you like to go along with me as interpreter?
Yes,
huh?
sir. I like it.
You like to go,
Yeah,
would you, huh?
yeah.
What's your name?
Logan.
Logan, huh? How much money you want?
Plenty, sir.
Oh, you want plenty, do you? All right, I think maybe you can go with me. That'll be fine.
Adventure with motion picture camera and airplane. That was the life of Martin Johnson, who flew and filmed with his wife Osa. He was a pioneer of motion pictures and aircraft in exploration. In the study of remote places, he preferred to make his record for the screen. In traversing desert and jungle, he preferred the sky route. Martin Johnson was the popular naturalist. In Africa with Osa, he made a memorable series of adventure and wild animal pictures. Before that, in their early exploring days, they had been in Borneo, which had left an abiding memory. So 18 years later, they returned with camera and plane to the Isle of the Impossible. Their culminating adventure and culminating picture, and their last. They came home to bitter, ironic fatality. Martin said he always felt safer in the wilds than in civilized places. Just after arranging the production of this picture, he and Osa took an airliner to California. It crashed. Martin killed, Osa injured. He pioneered an exploration with plane and film. He perished in a plane at home and left behind this, his greatest film, Borneo. Osa has been out exploring on her own, and she's caught a fish. I wonder if she's found this site is as wonderful as the natives said it was. Is it really such an abounding haunt of the wild animal life of the tropical forest? Are there strange birds and beasts here? Are there monkeys? Osa yells, yes, a house full of monkeys. And out she chases them, monkeys, monkeys, and monkeys. Even a lady explorer becomes just an indignant housewife when she finds her front parlor full of monkeys. Osa is incensed. She chases them in wild confusion. On your way, monks, and don't you stop. Well, there's no stopping them. They think Osa is still after them. These are river monkeys, agile at jumping and swimming. They are equally at home in the treetops and in the river. They shine at high jumping, they shine at swimming. Monkey shine. As high divers, they're not particular either. They don't need water at the other end of the jump. Dry land or hard rock will do just as well. They'd dive into a cement pool before the water was let in and like it. Scientists say that there's some element of flying in this, a gliding suggestion of the flying squirrel. They use their tails for balancing, tail swinging around, suggesting a gyroscope. They seem to spread their bodies with some sort of gliding effect. If you don't believe it, you try high diving onto the hard earth.
De snelstromende rivieren van Borneo zorgen niet alleen voor een gemakkelijk vervoer, doch zijn tevens een onuitputtelijke bron voor de voeding der Dayaks, die volmaakte vissers zijn. Een der meest interessante methodes om vis te vangen is die waarbij van een speer gebruik gemaakt wordt. Een drijver waaraan het aas is bevestigd wordt in het water gelegd en met opgeheven speer wacht de Dayak zijn kans af. Dit was mis de eerste keer, maar de tweede stoot is raak en de buit wordt onverwijld binnenboord gehaald. Het mooiste om te zien is het vissen met netten. Soms zijn er wel 1000 kleine vissersbootjes op weg naar de vismeren ten westen van Jantoer op de oostkust van Borneo. Het is niet altijd nodig achter het net aan te springen. Meestal vang je het meeste door uit het water te blijven. Zover het oog reikt, waaieren de handig uitgeworpen netten uit om even later de myriaden kleine visjes te opsluiten die aan de oppervlakte van het water voedsel zoeken. Weer een andere merkwaardige wijze van vissen is deze. Vishaken met aas worden aan kleine hengels verbonden. De hengels worden dan in de zachte modder van de oevers gestoken en men wacht rustig de dingen die komen zullen af. Het resultaat is iets wat ongewoon, maar vissen op waterslangen is een zeer winstgevend bedrijf, want de gedroogde huiden maken op de markt een goede prijs. De Dayak is een geboren jager, zoals de meeste primitieve volkeren. Hij gaat op jacht met blaasroer en pijlen, waarvan de punten dikwijls in vergif zijn gedompeld. Zo blaast hij als het ware zijn buit uit de lucht. De pijlen vliegen met een enorme vaart voort en door de grote behendigheid van de jager missen ze zelden hun doel. Dit Bahau Dahak meisje vond in het oerwoud een jonge orang-oetan vrouwtje, moederloos. Het is verboden hen in gevangenschap te houden, maar het meisje verzorgde deze baby zo goed dat ze nu weigert haar in de steek te laten. Het aapje is bijna een lid van de familie geworden en het heeft er als alle kinderen een hekel aan om zijn gezicht te laten wassen. En waarom zou je zoveel drukte maken om schoon te zijn? Maar achteraf is het misschien toch wel de moeite waard. Want niet iedereen is zo gelukkig om verzorgd te worden door zo'n aardig meisje. De roep van de jungle vindt in dit geval slechts dove oren. De Dayak is ook een echte krijgsman. Niet zo lang geleden was koppensnellen nog iets heel gewoons tussen nabuurstammen en het was de plicht en de wens van iedere jonge man om een ervaren krijger te worden. Hij maakte zijn eigen wapens en bewerkte en versierde de schilden die hem in de strijd moesten beschermen. Tegenwoordig echter is de oorlog tussen de verschillende stammen